he can handle. So I called the studio up, and I said, let Prince into the studio to change whatever he got to change. I don't know what he wants to do, but go ahead and let him do it. I'm going golfing. You know, so he went in and he did it, did his change and stuff like that.
So those early recordings really taught him what he would harness and
absolutely
the musical genius that
absolutely.
And it's very telling across his career. He's one of those few musicians that make sure they fight for what they deserve as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can see the history of that is learned from you, basically.
Well, absolutely. You know, I feel that if I didn't come into Minneapolis, what would have happened?
Yeah.
You know, because one door opens, another one closes. You know what I mean? So what would have happened if I didn't come in here? I'm not saying that he might not have been successful, but maybe he would have been ripped off. All my friends back in New York was going like, what are you doing in Minneapolis? You know, come on, man. What are you know, ain't no brothers in Minnesota. And I told him, I said, look, man, I'm staying here, man. I said, I feel that Minneapolis is the next Motown. Wow. That's what I felt, because I lived through the Motown thing. I lived through the Philadelphia sound thing. I lived through the rock and roll thing. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with Chuck Berry and, you know, those guys, and the Everly Brothers and the Righteous Brothers and the Sam and Dave, you know, I mean, those guys, you know, I came up with those guys, you know, so to me it was the beginning of music, because back then families were trying to tell their kids to stay away from rock and roll because it was evil music, you know, and the police was trying to agitate the people when they would have these lines around the corner coming to see these shows. I mean, the lines were around the corner on every show. These guys, they did like 5 shows a day, and it was full every single time. And so they tried to break it down, but it just didn't work. And now we have the results of, you know, music of, you know, today. And I think that artists of today, if you're going to be a student of the game, you're going to be a student in this business, you have to go back to find out how can I even be able to do this? You know, especially as a black person, you know, how am I able to do? Because back then, my uncle, Lou Anthony Imperials, you got the Four Tops, you got the Temptations, you got Marvin Gaye was there, you know, all these people, they weren't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Not the money that they were supposed to get. You know what I mean? They weren't getting it. They were being ripped off. All of these people have paved the way so that artists today could make a living. Basically. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these artists back then had hit records and no money. Yeah. No money. You know, they had no money. And they're out there traveling on buses, going to all of these shows in the South, you know, where they couldn't even get into the hotels, you know, because they were black. You know, they couldn't even eat in the restaurants. So the white members of the tour would have to go into the restaurants, get them food, and bring it back to them on the bus. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so it's the history, you know, of all of that, the struggles that they made, that's helping the artists today. And these artists today, they gotta respect that. Yeah. They must. They have to go back and respect. You have to start where we at right now, and now add your flavor to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because what people are jamming to or swaying to, you know, you gotta have that. So now you got them going like this. Yeah. Okay, so now how you going to be different from Usher? You know what I mean? How you going to be different from what's the white kid name? Justin Bieber. Yeah. How you going to be different? What's going to separate? What if you went to a record shop and you got Usher's record, you got Justin Bieber's record, you got Jay-Z's record, and you got your record? What's going to make them buy your record? Yeah. And that's always in my mind. When I write, when I produce or sign an artist, you know, there has to be something there that's going like, oh, no, this is a hit. Nobody's has heard this before. You know, this is a hit.
When
Yeah.
you're writing music, do you know that it's gonna be a hit? What's your like process when you're writing?
I only write hits.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what I go for.
Okay.
That's what I go for. You know, I don't write songs just to write a song and say, here's a song. You know, they have to be hit records. You know, if I don't believe it's a hit, then it's not on the album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I have worked on songs whereas I've worked on it so long that it was just terrible. You know, because you could overkill it. And I've overproduced it. You know, it was just not done. But if I believe it's a hit, then I'm going to stick with it and go for it. You know, I mean, I can write something and then thinking, you know, that it's good, it's great and stuff, and I go upstairs, go to bed, I get a good night's sleep, come back down the next day, put it on and go, what was I thinking? You know? But I have the foundation. I got the drums on there, I got the bass on there, and I can take anything else off and start again.